Hello and welcome to Gwent. Now, if you've played Witcher 3, they threw a little card game in there that, when Geralt, the Butcher of Blaviken, etc., is not busy butchering Blaviken, he plays cards. And while this didn't quite, make a lot of sense, because he kind of has more important things to do, the game itself was surprisingly well done. Like, it hung together, it was solid. And while it did get to the stage where eventually I got a deck that was basically unbeatable, they decided to take Gwent and make it its own standalone thing. Putting a lot more attention on the actual balance and on the mechanics of the game to make it a lot more of a proper game. And I did try to record some of this when I first got into it. Unfortunately, the footage was messed up, so that part is lost. But it's still really good. I've got a couple of cards, but firstly, we're going to look at the tutorial, because if you're not familiar with Gwent, this will be really helpful in order to figure out what's going on. Right? So, also, the cards look really, really cool. The cards look really, really, really cool. Some of them are even animated. This one, I guess, should be animated were it not a loading screen. So yes, the game is currently in closed beta, and it is not complete. I've run into some bugs, I've run into some connectivity issues, and the card pool isn't massively huge right now. But even at this early stage, you can see that there's a lot of synergy, and the way the mechanics interact with one another already has my head clicking all over the place. Okay, so here is a tutorial to introduce you to Gwent. You would get free cards once you complete it, but I've already done that. So unfortunately, I'm not going to. Okay, so it's 1v1 game. It takes place over 3 rounds, potentially. You have to win 2 of those rounds to win the game. The crowns show your progress towards victory. The top crown is your opponent, the bottom is yours. You get half a crown each time you win, complete the crown, and you win the whole game. It tallies the strength of everything you have on the board, right? And this UI is actually really, really, really good. Okay, with the tutorial, some cards have already been placed for our convenience, right? Every card... Oh, give me the screen back. Alright, you can play 1 card per turn. Maybe I should explain these things in the order that the tutorial explains them. Okay, each player, you only get 1 card per turn. You don't have any resources, right? You don't have mana or credits or whatever. You just play 1 card per turn. So, yeah, once it's done, you play takes their turn, then you take your turn, etc. until someone passes. So in this tutorial thing, they're going to go first, and he's going to play this 8 strength card. Each unit has an assigned position determining which row it can be played on. For example, the Vran warrior can only be placed in the melee row. Wait, did it say Vran warrior twice? Early access, everybody, that's beta. Alright, the Vran warrior card can only be placed on the ranged row, and the Griffin card can only be placed on the siege row. Yeah, each player has 3 of these rows, and they interact with each other in interesting ways sometimes. You can tell which row a card can be placed on by looking at the icon on the left of the card. You see? Play the Geralt card now. You see how animated he is? You see how handsome he is? My goodness, look at him splattering. Is that a Necker? Is that a Drowner? I don't even know. So yes, each card has a value, a strength score, and that adds to the strength of your side. It tallies your total strength here, and the total strength of each individual row here. Yeah, portals suck. Anyway, hey, you play Geralt, and his strength is added to your total. Your total strength is now higher than your opponent's. Yay! How good are we at this game? But then he's going to play another guy. Oh no! And now his strength is higher than ours. Now play your remaining card, just the one, in any order. I think I'll play this one first. And that puts us at 33 strength. We win a round. That easy, right? Play your cards, add your strengths, and then you win the game. Not a problem. Geralt versus the Monster Horde. Haha, Geralt wins. However, it's not that simple. It's not just a case of play your bigger cards and then you win, right? There's actually a lot more ways that these cards interact with one another, right? So, well, let's learn about advanced card mechanics and the round dynamics. All battles start with a mulligan. During this phase, you can swap up to 3 cards you don't want in your hand during the next battle for new cards drawn from your deck. So yeah, if you think something won't be useful in a particular matchup or you don't need it at the moment, get rid of it, draw something else. Let's start by just swapping out Decoy, Commander's Horn, and the First Light cards. Highlight each card, and click them. Get rid of them, get rid of them, get rid of them. See? So easy. So, a good strategy is to open a round by playing a strong card. I personally disagree with this, but let's just go ahead with what they say. This way your opponent will have to play high strength cards to match your total. Play Geralt now.
Damn it.
Your opponent is about to play a card that musters more cards on the battlefield. Oh no! This means all copies of the card in your opponent's deck will instantly appear on the battlefield. You see? He played one card, but some cards pull more cards from different places. Your graveyard or your deck. Right? Unlike something like Hearthstone, your graveyard is actually a place where cards are kept, and some cards utilize this. Some cards really mess with the graveyard. Okay, some units can deal damage to other units, reducing their strength. Play Vernon Roach. It's the Roach. And choose which one to be the damage. Which one? This one. Yeah, we did it. So if you reduce the guy to 0, he's dead. He gets put into the graveyard. And now he's pulled some more shenanigans, right? The Wild Hunt Rider also pulls all other Wild Hunt Riders from your deck. Silly though that be. So now let's try shooting some wild ones. Wild Hunt Riders. Pachow! Alright, your opponent's about to play a special card, Scorch! Oh no! This card destroys the strongest unit, on the battlefield. If units are tied for strength, they all die. But Scorch did not affect Geralt or Vernon Roach because they're gold. Gold cards are immune to basically everything, right? You can recognize them by the fact that they have a gold border. There are some cards, very, very rare, that will target gold cards, but generally speaking, when you put a gold guy out there, you can be pretty confident that he's going to stay looking handsome. This would be a good time to pass. Your opponent needs to play many cards to eliminate my lead. If that happens, you will have a card advantage and will be well positioned to win the remaining rounds. Remember, losing a round does not mean you've lost a battle. You only need to win 2 out of 3 rounds. So legitimate strategy is to actually throw one of the rounds to get an advantage for the next one, right? So you can hold this down to pass your turn. Once you've passed, you don't get more turns, right?
There is no escape.
So he's going to keep doing his thing until he wins, right? Yeah, he's got ahead of me. He's got half a crown. He won that round. But, oh yeah, well, I'll explain in a moment. Start another round. Your opponent won the previous round, so they start. Whoever won starts. Because generally taking the first turn is actually kind of a disadvantage. At the start of the second round, both players draw 2 cards from their deck. As you can see, you've got a significant lead over your opponent. He's got 5 cards to my 7, which is like actually a huge difference. Not all cards are equal. He says, for example, Poor Infantry, right? It's a strength 2 card. Why would you ever want that, right? The answer is, when I play this, he spawns 2 copies of himself.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf I am.
So he's actually a strength 6 card. You see? And now he's used that guy to take out one of my 2-drops? I don't care about that at all. It's pretty cool. Let's snipe him back just to show him who's boss. Okay, one thing I have to keep in mind is... if he wins this round, I lose the game entirely. So it behooves me to make sure that I win, right? So, what was I gonna say about... Yeah, I was gonna say about card advantage. So each of these cards, some of them have more of an impact on the battlefield than others. But, generally speaking... Okay. I may have made a slight. I was just pulling cards out. So let's put another one of these. If I put one of these up, I would have actually been ahead by a point. Anyway. Misplay by me aside. So now that I've got more strength than my opponent, they've already passed. They can't take any more turns, right? So now that I've beat them, unless there's a very specific thing I want to do, there's no reason for me to play more cards. I've already won the round. So let's pass. I won the round! I got half a crown! How good am I? I'm just that good. Alright, this is the third round. My opponent... Yeah, so on the second round, you draw 2 cards. On the third round, you draw 1 card. Card draw is actually pretty rare in this game, right? The minimum size for your deck is 25, and in a normal game, you're only actually going to be seeing about 13 of those, which is pretty interesting. Alright, let's throw out one of these guys. Just to, you know, keep things moving. Okay. Okay, so the Ballista deals 3 damage to an enemy unit, and Sheila de Tensorville removes 4 from an enemy unit. Neither of these will kill this thing outright. And some creatures... Oh, okay, I need to actually mouse over it. Some creatures have like a countdown timer where they'll appear and then they'll wait a little while before doing their thing. This guy eats things to the side of him, right? Oh, sorry, no. He eats the weakest thing on his row and adds that strength to his own. Which is, you know, good for him, I guess.
Aye, aye, sir.
Aye, aye, sir. So you see, now that that time is gone, he's going to eat that guy immediately and get up to 13 strength, which makes him pretty powerful. More powerful than either of my guys. What you want to be careful about, I'm just going to shoot him in the face. What you want to be careful about is that some cards will just straight up kill the most powerful creature on the board, right? Oh, so he's still got 3 cards in hand, but he just passed. Which is generally not what you're going to get in a real game, because now I win. So I can keep playing cards if I want. Snipe him!
Interesting.
Long live
Knights! Knights!
Best give up now.
Knights! Yep, and now I have no cards left. I win the round! I'm the best at this game. Yes. And it even tells you what the scores were for each round. How cool is that? Okay, now let's talk about a couple of more interesting things. We've already seen cards that can pull more of themselves out, or cards that can shoot at other cards, but there's actually a lot of special effects you can get.
Dead Essa Krisa.
Get out of here, Odin.
Crush those vermin!
Hey, Faultist. Alright, use what you've learned to swap out cards you don't want to use in battle. When you're satisfied, press X to start the game. Alright, cool. So, I've got 2 of these guys, I got 2 of these guys. If I had something... Okay, what's cool about the poor infantry is that they give you 3 really crappy units. But there's some cards that will just like buff up everything on a row, right? So even though individually they're weak, if you can get some buffs into them, they can actually become quite dangerous. Unfortunately, I don't have any buffs, so I'm going to swap them out. I'm going to get Geralt, who's, yeah, he's kind of good. Goodbye, poor infantry. I got Sheila. That's alright. You can also, like, you can also redraw a redrawn card if you don't want one. Hey, and I got Vernon Roche as well. In this game, we'll learn how to use the leaders, but let's start by playing unit. Sure. I want this one. This one. Alright, fine. It wants us to play this one.
Long live, etc., etc.
You shall die.
Oh no! My opponent's used as leader. Leaders can only be used once per game. Using leader ends your turn just like playing a card. What's cool is that every leader has a unique ability, right? So his leader was to play Eredin. Eredin's like this handsome fellow over here. He's just 11 strength, immune to weather, he's a cool guy. Faultist chooses a guy on your side of the battlefield and duplicates him. So if I were to do this,
Close ranks!
I'd get another identical card. If I were to pick a guy who'd been buffed up or had some kind of special ability, that he doesn't normally have, that is also duplicated. So one thing Foltest likes to do is make one guy really strong and then double him up. Kinda cool, kinda cool. Potentially very, very strong. Okay, so opponent's about to play a weather card. Oh no! These cards reduce the strength of units on a row to a minimum, i.e. 1. They affect both sides of the battlefield, meaning both you and the opponent will feel their consequences. So he's going to throw out some frost, I think. Yep, there's some frost. And my guys got reduced to 1 strength. His guy is totally fine, despite the fact that he's also frozen. Weather cards are usually used when your opponent has significantly more strength than you on a specific row, right? Remember, like most cards, they don't affect gold units, such as Geralt. So gold units, Geralt, Vernon, etc. don't care about the cold, or the rain, or the fog at all. Incidentally, Eridan, is that his name? Yeah, he has this symbol, which means he's immune to weather. He doesn't care. Alright, you can remove the negative effects of weather by playing the first light card, which was just added to your hand. They literally just gave me this card, despite the fact that in the last game it told me mulligan it. So, some cards have multiple ways you can play them. For example, this Clear Skies card can either be played for Clear Skies, where it gets rid of weather, or it can be used to play a bronze unit from your deck. Bronze being like kind of like the not exactly common cards, but the somewhat less fancy cards. Anyway, that cleared up the frost, and now we're awesome. Right. Oh no! The Commander's Horn has just been added to our hand. Are you going to let me play this, or are you just going to keep adding cards to my hand? Come on. You can place it to double the strength of all non-gold units on that row. That's not actually true. It only gives you +4 strength. Yeah. In the original Gwent, it did double everything on that row, but in this version, it only adds 4 strength, because it turns out doubling the strength of everything on a row is kind of insane. Anyway. That aside, yeah, closed beta is closed beta. We can do that to add 4 to both of these guys, and then we have more strength than him. He is broken, his morale is in the dumps. We can just pass to win. Yay! We did it! Alright, so we've got some poor infantry. It's round 2, we draw 2 cards. That's how it works. Now you know the basics. Continue playing and to find out more of the game, the text you can set in motion, and the foes you will face. With each battle, you'll gain experience and hone your skills. Haha! Use that knowledge to bring your enemies to their knees. Good luck. Have fun. Will do. Alright, let's play some... Okay, so we got a Commander Horn, and we got some poor infantry. So remember what I said before. Remember what I said before about... Yeah, individually because they're weak, but if tootle a horn at them... Normally this would give you +4 to 1 unit, but this would actually give us 4 times 3, 12. So this is increasing the potential strength of this card tremendously by putting a whole bunch of crappy units up here. Let's start sniping this Chort, because I don't like Chorts. They don't actually do anything, but it looks really ugly. So, interesting. So Vernon Roach hits an enemy unit for 5, and this Ballista hits them for 3. So I can hit this for 3, then play Roach, and wipe it off the battlefield. This is nice to do sometimes because
The north, to Mariya.
a lot of cards affect multiple cards. I mean, if you can pull cards entirely off the board, you don't have to deal with them anymore. It's kind of awesome. Let's try a Knight.
Long live, etc., etc.
Because I've got... Yeah, one thing that's cool is that it tells you just here a number. Nice UI design. A number which is just the cards in your hand, the cards in his hand. So I can tell at a glance, alright, I've got 2 cards on top of him, and I already lead strength. I can probably just keep playing this round and be confident that I'll win. Sheila deals 4 damage.
Studies are more
So I'm going to zap this guy.
This.
Don't want to zap those guys because they will... Oh well, aren't you fancy? Don't want to zap one of these guys because no point of damage will be wasted, and we don't want that.
Alert!
Keep playing guys, keep playing guys. Yeah, so, what I'm going to show later is that there's 5 different factions. Each of which have their own kind of shtick. Each of which have their own focus, own cool little tricks and strategies that they can employ. Like Geralt. And what's cool about that is that, like in any tactical card game like this. Aha, Trudelhorn. See how powerful that was? I'm up to 76. Yeah. Pretty much the more interesting interactions that you have between the cards, the more cool the game's going to end up being. Right. So we end up with 83 strength on top of his, like, 36. That's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, so we stomped him. Take that, Eridin. And that... Well, okay, that's the actual game tutorial. There's also some tutorials on cards, but I can tell you about that myself. I actually do have a bit of currency here, so I'm going to show you how to get more cards. First, you talk to this happy troll.
Ahoy, hoy, human friend!
Hoi hoi, troll buddy. Yes.
Hey, barrel buyman! Time is glitter rocks!
Time is glitter rocks. So you've got 3 different currencies up here. You've got ore, which you use...
Human, take time. Shoop, just stand here.
Yeah. Just soup, stand here. It's fine. Stop. Quit it. I'm trying to explain. Stop saying. Alright. So you can buy big packs for monies, or you can buy single kegs for in-game currency. Dude, pardon you. You can spend 100 in-game currency to buy a single card keg, and I'm going to do a bunch of that. You can also craft cards using scraps over here, and these are the kegs you have unopened.
Not of all day. Shoop must stack glitter rocks.
Yes, I will spend glitter rocks. Here, have some glitter rocks. Have...
Smart human choose good.
Damn straight. Pardon you. Alright, so I'm going to buy 7 of these. And one thing that's really cool is that... Yeah, these are basically booster packs, right? Yes, let's open some of them. Silence, troll. Let's open one now. Come on, troll, hit me. Boom! Thank you. So, here you can see some of the different factions. And I've only got commons, which is too bad. But anyway, you get 4 cards per keg. That doesn't sound right.
Nice.
But Spearman, give this unit a shield. That's cool. Temerian Footshield, the play old. This guy doubles himself up. He pulls all other guys like him from your deck. And we got 2 of them, that's nice. And some more Torrential Rain, which is fine. But 4 cards doesn't seem like a lot for a booster, right? But wait, there's more. Now, you get to pick a card, right? So, those are the cards you just, like, drafted. And those are the cards you just got. And then, 1 card from the pack you can pick. Which is really, really, really cool. To me, at least. Because it gives you that potential to start building towards your own deck. Build towards this deck that you want to play, right? Unfortunately, like, I don't really have a card here that I super want. Okay, so this guy gains free spend for whenever you play a special card or a spell or whatever. You know, one of those things, anything that's not a dude. What a hag. Immune to weather and starts raining. That's pretty cool. And an epidemic destroys the weakest non-gold units on the battlefield. So it's like a Scorch, which destroys the strongest creature, but picks the weakest creature instead. Which can be useful. So I'm going to take the Water Hag, because, like, anything that plays with weather is actually kind of cool. And I'm not going to get the other 2, but that's fine. So, this guy, some units and some spells can put shields on things. And normally whenever a ballista or something will try to shoot you, you take damage, but the shield will block that, which is pretty cool. Let's open another keg. Crack it for me, buddy. So yeah, these are some of the factions. You've got Mariya, which is like basically northern European kind of guys. You've got Skellig,
Goody!
Clan Toradok Armor Smith. Toradok, sorry. Shieldsmith. Wow. Okay, I can forgive myself for getting Toradok wrong, but misreading Shieldsmith? Whatever. He makes another unit stronger, which is pretty cool. These guys are basically Vikings.
Wow!
These guys are monsters. Remove weather from this row. right? So the griffin just like flaps, 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 and all the clouds go away. And these are the Scoia'tael.
Nice.
Elf Mercenary. Ooh, this is actually a really good card. Play a random non-gold special card from your deck, which means it's pretty rare. Like I said, you only ever really get 13 cards out of your deck. This guy pulls another card from your deck. Anything that lets you play more and more and more cards when you shouldn't be allowed to is pretty sweet. You gotta be careful with this one, bud.
Now for more.
Why, hello. Why, hello. Okay, so these are rare. Okay, so you got white, which is common, you got blue, which is rare. I guess these are epic. I don't know. And this is actually a hard choice. Well, it's actually not that hard because I don't play these two factions right now. Anyway, Asida van Anahid. Okay, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's graveyard and randomly place them in your opponent's deck. For each card chosen, lose 1 strength. Right? Well, that's crazy. Oh, no. Of course, that makes total sense. Okay, so you look at this card and you think, what? Why would I want to resurrect 2 of the enemy's cards? That's crazy talk. But, and this is a big stinky but, Nilfgaard, which is the faction she's from, hello, right here, big spiky sun, they like to play spies. And spies are guys that you actually throw onto the enemy side of the battlefield, right? They work for the enemy, but give a benefit to you. So they're kind of playing both sides in that regard. Asida van Anahid. Asida var Anahid. I'm just going to say that. I'm guessing she's meant to pick your spies out of their graveyard. Because at the end of the round, everything on that side dies, right? Everything gets put in the graveyard. Including your cards, right? If you have your cards on their side, or they have their cards on your side, that goes to your graveyard, or their graveyard. It doesn't matter who originally played the card. What matters is what side of the field they were on when they died. So this can get you extra mileage out of your spies. It seems amazing. Like, it seems seriously incredibly good. Alright. Siren. He is 1 strength and can be played anywhere, so I'm guessing he has a kind of a cool ability. Okay, Ambush. When the round ends, return the hand of the current... Oh, wait. Ambush. When the round ends, return to the hand of the current owner if that player lost. Huh. How interesting, right? Remember what I said about how going first is generally a disadvantage? Because you only see 13 cards, every card you play is valuable. Every card that the opponent plays gives you information, right? Every card that the opponent plays, they're like laying out their hand. They're telling you what they have. Siren is like a 1 strength dude who keeps coming back into your hand. You can use him to just like stall. You can use him to be like, I want to see what else you have. I want to see what else you have. I want to see what else you have again. And although he himself is pretty weak, that additional information is so good. Anyway, and then you've got Trololo, who removes 1 strength from all non-gold units on the opposite row. Gain 2 strength for each of them, right? Remember how some cards can spawn multiple themselves, pull multiple themselves? Some decks like to just pull out 1,000 guys and just swarm your numbers. Trololo goes, that sounds delicious. They do that, he has a good time. But given that I kind of like Nilfgaard faction, I'm going to take Asira. Siren's so cool, but... Anyway, but I'm going to take Asira. Yes, please. That's really, really cool. Another keg. Another! Oh, Skellig town. All commons, but a little bit disappointing. Another foot soldier. That's nice. Hey, a clan demon pirate. Now, okay. Look at this nonsense. Immune to weather, it's fine. Discard all Clan Demon Pirates from your deck. What? And this is kind of a thing that happens with a lot of Skellig cards. When you play him on the board, he searches your deck for all duplicate cards of him and throws them in your garbage. Right? And you're thinking like, what the hell is the point of that? The answer is, Skellig has a lot of cards that like things being in your garbage. Skellig has a lot of ways to play with its trash. And as a result, this pirate can actually feed into some really interesting combos. What's this? Queen's Guard. They're cool. Strength 2, but resurrect all Queen's Guards, and add 1 base strength to your Ceres unit wherever it is. I don't actually have the Ceres card, so this isn't so useful for me. But the trick is, if you can pull out multiple Queen's Guard, they die at the end of the round. Then if you resurrect one of them, it pulls out all the other ones as well. Kinda cool, right? And Clan Torodok Armorsmith. I'm gonna write this time. Alien Weather and resets the all weakened non-gold units on this row, so he can go on any row, and any damaged unit on that row gets restored to its regular strength, right? Kind of awesome. Well, okay, I reckon it's actually only okay, but it's kind of awesome. Okay, I only got rare, which is whatever. I'll take it. Tyler is cool. Redraw up to 1 card. Anything that lets you play with the cards in your hand, kind of useful, I think. Ekimara, destroy a non-gold unit on your side and absorb its strength. Interesting, but you're kind of feeding your own units to yourself at that point, which is, you know, of limited use. Some things do like you eating other things, but... And Scorch. Destroy the strongest non-gold unit on the battlefield. Very handy card, but I already have one, and the thing is, with silver cards, you can only put 1 in your deck, right? I actually made this mistake before. I was like, oh, I could really use another one of these, and then it's like, wait, I can only use 1. So I really couldn't use another. I don't have Tala, and I don't have any Ekimara. Who needs these guys, right? Who needs Mariya? I'll go with monsters. Let's go Ekimara. Open the next keg. Break that keg for me, friend. Man, I'm not drawing very well, am I? Okay, so I drew a Neca. Like I said, these guys like it when monsters eat each other. Whenever a monster eats another, the Neca gains 1 strength, regardless of where it is. If it's in the hand, if it's in a deck, or if it's on the battlefield, it gets stronger. The only downside is it doesn't gain that strength if it's in the trash. Anyway, but when this thing dies, play a Neca from your deck. Now isn't that interesting?
Nice.
Strength 8 foot soldiers, whatever, they're fine.
Goody.
Alza's Thunder, zap a guy for 7. Kinda cool, right? Dwarven Mercenary, gain 2 strength for each dwarf unit on your side of the battlefield. I've seen some really, really nasty dwarf decks. Dwarves tend to be butts, like super, super butt heads. Okay. So, I've got a Reaver Hunter. After 2 turns, play a Reaver Hunter from your deck. So, if you leave these guys out there, they're just going to spawn more and more of themselves. That's kind of cool, right? Dol Blathana Archer. 5 card, shoots a guy for free. Decent enough. Griffin. Move? What in the world? Move a non-gold card from your opponent's graveyard to your own. You see what I said? Where some cards just play around and just do weird things. Like, you look at this and go like, why? But if the opponent has a cool creature in there that you know he's going to try to get back, you can just be like, no, I'm going to put it out of your reach. That's kind of cool. And like I said, I kind of like the monsters more than these guys. And besides, actually I kind of like Scoia'tael too. Oh man, I've already got 2 of these. I've already got 2 of these, and I probably won't want a third, so let's get this guy. Oh! Get some more cards. What have I got? What have I got? Man, I just keep drawing commons, man. Standard Bearer, he's cool. So you remember how Combat Horn, that's not at all what it was called, added 4 to the strength of everyone on the side. This guy's a creature who adds 2 to the strength of everyone on that row. That's kind of cool. He's like got a little horn of his own.
Nice.
A Harpy. Spawn 2 Harpy eggs on random rows on your side. How interesting. What do Harpy eggs do? I can't tell you right now.
Goody.
Don Blafana Trapper. Ambush. When a revealed non-gold unit appears on the row, remove 4 strength from all non-gold units on this row. Right? So, what's cool... Wait, isn't this guy an infiltrator? Anyway, what's cool? Squirtle get a lot of these kind of ambush cards, which get played face down, right? And then when they're triggered, they have a really cool effect. So, if you play one of these, then the enemy's gonna be like, wait, whoa, what is this even gonna do? How do I want to react to it, right? And hitting everything on that side for 4 is like, ooh, nasty. Reinforced Ballista. Well, remove 1 strength from random opposing non-gold unit whenever a gold card appears on your side. So, Mariya likes gold cards. They like them a lot. And so whenever you play a gold card, this Ballista will just like shoot a guy on the opposite side for 1. It's kind of nice, I guess. Not a huge fan of that. Okay. Commander's Horn, not only do I not want another, but I can't even take another. Like, it's silver, right? Field Medic, Resurrect a random... Yeah, this guy resurrects a random unit. Thanks, I guess. And besides, I already have 2 of them. Actually, none of these are terribly useful for me, but check out this guy. He's 4 strength, but gains resilience when played, and at the start of each round. A resilient unit stays on the battlefield for the next round. Right? So at the start of the round, he gains resilience again. If you play him on round 1, unless he gets killed, he's there for the whole game. And if you buff him up, he keeps those buffs for the whole game. When these dwarves show up, you best be worried. And yeah, I'm going to take a 3rd one. You can have a maximum of 3 of a bronze card in your deck. Yeah, you can have, like, when it comes to copies of cards, you can have 1 copy of a gold card, 1 copy of a silver card, and 3 copies of any bronze cards, right? Where's my cool cards? So you guys should go for free, do nothing. Another Queen's Guard, that's nice. And a Necker. I gotta do some Neckers now.
Now for more.
Check it out, we've got legendary cards. We've got legendary cards. Awesome. Okay. Ragnarug is neutral card. Spawn, Frost, Fog, and Rain effects. Just like everything. Everything in the world. The whole place just goes to poop. How cool is that? So, like, anything that's not immune to weather just gets put to 1 strength. Super, super interesting card. Kira Metz. Give a shield to all non-gold units on this row. Repeat this every 2 turns. Right? So if they've got a bunch of stuff that's like sniping your dudes or whatever, or you think they might do that, she keeps shielding them. She just keeps shielding them. And she can go on any row. Good job, Kira Metz. And then you've got Saskia, who is a dragon. Strength 9. Remove 1 strength from all opposing non-gold units. Add 1 strength to all units on your side of the battlefield except yourself. How crazy is that? Right? Saskia is just like, oh yeah, everything on your side, 1 weaker. Everything on my side, 1 stronger. And I'm a strength 9 dragon. For me, it's a toss-up between Saskia and Ragnarug. Because this is such a trump card, you know? This is kind of a, like, well, I'm sorry. Now everything sucks. If you build around this, of course, note you also have to draw it, that's kind of important too. If you build around this, you can just, like, have a serious trump happening. However, it's a bit heavy on the combo for me, so I'm going to go with Saskia because it's a flippin' dragon, and this ability is more consistently useful. Also, these guys are kind of cool, you know? Squirtle, kind of cool. Alright, another keg. Is this our second last one? Second last one. Alright, that's fine. Mariya, boo! Siege support. This is actually cool. Add free strength to 2 units on your side of the battlefield, right? So, he's strength 3, but effectively he's giving you 9 value. That's kind of cool.
Nice.
Lacerate. Swipes a whole row for free. It's kind of cool, I guess. Blue Stripes Commando. Add 2 strength to all other Blue Stripes Commandos in your hand, deck, or on your side of the battlefield. You put them down, everyone else gets stronger. Kinda cool. Reaver Scout. Silence Birds. Reaver Scout. Choose a bronze unit on your side of the battlefield, play an instance of it from your deck. So he just like pulls a copy of another one of you guys. That's kinda cool. Okay, these are... You see what I was saying? Well, firstly, this is also interesting. But, you see what I was saying? This guy gains 2 strength whenever you discard a unit. Right? Right? You see now how the pirates and stuff, when they just like throw themselves into the bin, it doesn't have to be when you discard a unit from your hand, it can be from your deck, it can be from the field, whatever. Kinda cool, right? And this guy loves it whenever you do. So I'm gonna go with him, because Mangonel's kinda cool, but I like Skellig more than I like Nilfgaard. Ta-da!
Gwent cards. Lots. All kinds.
All kinds. Well, we got a dragon. That's kinda cool. You know, one thing I'll show you before we sign off is how you create a deck. Now, each faction has... Actually, no, I should do this next time. Yeah, I'll do a brief overview right now and then start with the deck construction next time, because odds are a bunch of people left for that card opening segment. Anyway, each faction has a different faction ability. Like, their own unique thing that they do, which kind of plays into their shtick as a faction. On top of that, each faction has multiple leaders, each of which have their own abilities. So the scope of deck construction and the kind of strategies you can pull off is actually already huge. And that is super cool. Anyway, that's a taste of Gwent. That's an idea of how the game works. Next time, I'm actually going to play some games. I'm going to fiddle my decks a bit to put in some of these new cards, and we're going to try to win. I'll see you then.